9. Hidden money laws. The universe doesn't want you to know. Florence Scovel Shinn. There exists within the fabric of creation a profound deception that has kept humanity bound to poverty consciousness for millennia. This deception whispers that there is not enough, that you must struggle and compete, that money is evil, or that spiritual people must remain poor to be pure. But I tell you now, as Florence Scovel Shinn revealed through divine revelation, these are the very lies that keep the floodgates of abundance sealed shut in your experience. The universe operates on infinite supply, yet most walk through life with their spiritual eyes closed to this magnificent truth. You have been programmed from birth to believe in limitation, to accept less, to feel guilty about prosperity. But what if I told you that this very programming is the first hidden law working against your financial freedom? The law of inherited poverty consciousness states that we unconsciously inherit the financial limitations of our ancestors, carrying their fears, their struggles, their beliefs about money as if they were our own divine truth. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that man is made in the image and likeness of God, and God lacks nothing. Therefore, your true nature is one of unlimited abundance. Every time you accept struggle as normal, every time you say, "I can't afford it," every time you look at your bank account with worry, you are denying your divine inheritance. You are choosing the illusion of separation over the truth of your spiritual identity as an heir to infinite riches. The first hidden money law that has been concealed from you is this: your financial struggles are not punishment from God, nor are they evidence of unworthiness. They are simply the outward manifestation of inward beliefs that are not aligned with spiritual truth. Money is not your source, God is your source, and God's supply is inexhaustible. When you truly grasp this fundamental principle, when you feel it resonate in every cell of your being, you begin to dismantle the poverty consciousness that has held you captive. Consider for a moment the absurdity of believing that the creator of galaxies, stars, and infinite worlds would withhold abundance from his beloved children. Would a loving parent create a universe of infinite resources only to watch their children struggle and suffer? The very notion contradicts the nature of divine love. Yet this is precisely what you have been taught to believe through generations of scarcity programming. The second hidden law reveals itself now: the law of vibrational poverty. This law states that as long as you vibrate with thoughts, feelings, and words of lack, you will continue to attract experiences that match this energetic frequency. Your vibration is your prayer, your constant communication with the universe. When Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "There is no lack in the kingdom of heaven," she was not speaking metaphorically. She was stating a vibrational truth that becomes your reality when you align with it. Every worry about money, every fearful thought about your future, every complaint about your circumstances is a prayer for more of the same. The universe is not withholding your good. You are, through the vibrational choices you make moment by moment. Your subconscious mind, programmed with limitation, is faithfully creating experiences that match your deepest beliefs about what you deserve and what is possible for you. But here lies the magnificent promise. Just as you have unconsciously created lack through misaligned beliefs, you can consciously create abundance through spiritual truth. The third hidden law emerges: the law of conscious creation through divine partnership. This law reveals that you are not meant to manifest alone through personal will and effort. You are designed to co-create with divine intelligence, to become a channel through which infinite abundance flows effortlessly into your experience. When you stop trying to make things happen and start allowing them to happen through spiritual alignment, everything changes. Your job is not to figure out the how. Your job is to maintain the consciousness of abundance, to speak words of prosperity, to feel gratitude for what is coming before it appears. The divine intelligence that created you knows exactly how to bring your good to you in ways that will astound and delight you. Words are not mere sounds that disappear into thin air. They are creative forces that shape reality itself. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this profound truth when she taught that words are the vehicles of power, and that by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. The fourth hidden money law that has been kept from you is the law of financial creation through sacred speech. Your words about money are not idle chatter. They are decrees that command the universe to respond with matching experiences. Every time you speak words of lack, you are unconsciously casting spells of poverty upon your life. When you say, "I'm broke," "I can't afford it," "money is tight," or "rich people are greedy," you are not simply describing your current situation. You are commanding these conditions to continue and multiply. Your subconscious mind, which knows no difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined and emotionally charged, accepts these declarations as marching orders for your future. But the inverse is gloriously true. When you begin to speak only words of abundance, when you declare with unwavering faith, "God is my supply and all my needs are met," when you proclaim, "I am prospered in all my ways," you are engaging in the most powerful form of creation available to human consciousness. You are aligning your speech with spiritual truth, and the universe has no choice but to rearrange circumstances to match your elevated declarations. The fifth hidden law reveals itself through this understanding: the law of subconscious reprogramming through repetitive truth. Your subconscious mind has been programmed with thousands of negative beliefs about money through years of repetitive exposure to lack consciousness. It will not release these patterns simply because you desire it to. It responds only to the language of repetition, emotion, and unwavering conviction. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized the importance of affirmations spoken with feeling and faith. When you repeat, "My supply comes from God and now appears in perfect ways," you are not trying to convince the universe to give you money. You are convincing your subconscious mind to accept a new truth about your identity and your relationship with abundance. Each repetition with genuine feeling creates new neural pathways, new beliefs, new expectations that your outer world must inevitably reflect. The transformation begins in the invisible realm of consciousness before it manifests in the visible world of form. You must become wealthy in consciousness before you can become wealthy in experience. This requires a complete revolution in your internal dialogue about money. Instead of rehearsing problems, you must practice prosperity. Instead of describing limitations, you must declare unlimited possibilities. The sixth hidden law emerges from this practice: the law of energetic alignment between inner and outer wealth. This law states that your external financial condition is always a perfect mirror of your internal relationship with abundance. If there is chaos in your finances, there is chaos in your money consciousness. If there is fear about your future, there is fear in your present thinking. If there is struggle to make ends meet, there is struggle in your spiritual understanding of supply. But when you achieve inner prosperity, when you feel genuinely wealthy in consciousness, when you think thoughts of abundance naturally and easily, when you speak words of prosperity automatically, your outer world begins its inevitable transformation. The universe operates through law, not chance, and the law demands that your external experience conform to your internal reality. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that man's word is his wand, the magic instrument he waves over his affairs to produce the effects he desires. But most people are unconsciously waving their wands to create the very experiences they claim to want to avoid. They speak their fears into existence while wondering why their lives reflect struggle instead of success. The practice of conscious speaking requires vigilance and dedication. You must become aware of your habitual speech patterns about money and deliberately choose to speak only words that align with your highest good. When someone asks how you are doing financially, instead of reciting a litany of problems, you respond with, "I am prospered and blessed in all ways." When faced with a financial challenge, instead of declaring disaster, you affirm, "God's infinite resources are now available to meet this need perfectly." This is not positive thinking for the sake of feeling better. This is spiritual science. This is working with the creative laws of the universe instead of against them. Your words are seeds planted in the fertile soil of divine mind, and they will produce after their kind with mathematical precision. There exists a form of mathematics that operates beyond the limitations of human calculation. a mystical arithmetic that multiplies loaves and fishes, that turns water into wine, that transforms small offerings into abundant harvests. Florence Scovel Shinn called this the mathematics of God, where addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division follow entirely different laws than those taught in earthly schools. The seventh hidden money law concealed from human awareness is the law of divine mathematics, which states that in God's economy, giving creates multiplication, not subtraction. Human mathematics tells you that if you have $10 and give away 5, you have 5 remaining. Divine mathematics reveals that if you give with faith and love, you activate the law of tenfold return, and your offering becomes seed for an abundant harvest. This understanding completely revolutionizes your relationship with money, transforming it from something to be hoarded and protected into a divine substance that multiplies through circulation. The fear-based mind cannot comprehend this spiritual principle because it operates from the consciousness of limitation. It sees money as finite, supply as scarce, and giving as loss. But the illumined consciousness recognizes that money is simply energy in form, and energy follows the law of circulation. What flows out must flow back in, often multiplied beyond imagination. When you give from a consciousness of abundance, trusting that your supply is infinite, you create a spiritual vacuum that the universe fills with even greater good. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that whatever man sends out in word or deed returns to him. What he gives, he receives. This is not mere philosophy. This is the spiritual science that governs all manifestation. Your relationship with money reveals your understanding of this principle. Do you give freely and joyfully, trusting in divine replenishment? Or do you clutch and control, operating from fear of not having enough? The eighth hidden law builds upon this foundation, the law of expectant faith in financial increase. This law states that your expectations are the molds into which your experiences pour themselves. If you expect lack, you create the conditions for lack to appear. If you expect struggle, you magnetize struggle to yourself. But if you expect abundance, if you live in the consciousness of inevitable increase, you become a magnet for prosperity in all its forms. Expectant faith is not hoping for the best while preparing for the worst. It is knowing with absolute certainty that your good is on its way because you are aligned with spiritual truth. It is the consciousness that says, "Of course, abundance is coming to me. I am a child of the Most High, created in the image and likeness of infinite prosperity." This expectation is not based on external conditions or human logic. It is rooted in the unchanging nature of God as unlimited supply. When you truly embody this consciousness of expectant faith, you stop scrambling and start receiving. You stop pushing and start attracting. You stop trying to make things happen and start allowing them to happen through divine order. Your entire energy changes from desperate seeking to grateful receiving, and this shift in vibration attracts entirely different experiences into your life. The mystical mathematics of divine supply also reveals that your current financial situation has nothing to do with your ultimate potential for abundance. You are not limited by your past, your education, your family background, or your current circumstances. In God's mathematics, your net worth has no bearing on your self-worth, and your bank account balance does not determine your spiritual account balance. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of the divine plan for each person's life, a perfect blueprint that includes prosperity, joy, and fulfillment beyond human imagination. When you align with this divine plan through faith and right thinking, you tap into resources that exist beyond the physical realm. You become connected to the infinite supply that exists in divine mind, and this connection transforms your experience of money from struggle to flow, from scarcity to abundance. The practice of divine mathematics begins with gratitude for what you currently have, no matter how small it appears. Gratitude is the acknowledgement of God's goodness in your life, and this acknowledgement opens the channel for greater good to flow. When you are grateful for the dollar in your pocket, you create space for hundreds to appear. When you appreciate the roof over your head, You align with the consciousness that attracts the mansion of your dreams. This mystical mathematics also requires that you see money differently, not as the goal itself, but as a tool for expressing your divine nature. Money becomes a means of blessing others, of creating beauty, of solving problems, of making life more wonderful for yourself and those you love. When money serves love instead of fear, when it becomes an expression of your highest values instead of a source of anxiety, it multiplies naturally and effortlessly in your experience. Everything in the universe is vibration, from the smallest atom to the grandest galaxy, all pulsing with divine intelligence and infinite potential. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs create a specific vibrational signature that broadcasts constantly to the universe, attracting experiences that match your energetic frequency. The ninth and perhaps most powerful hidden money law is the law of vibrational wealth magnetism, which states that you can only attract and maintain wealth that matches your internal vibrational frequency of prosperity consciousness. This law explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract money, while others struggle despite desperate efforts. It is not about worthiness, education, or even hard work. It is about vibrational alignment with the frequency of abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this principle when she taught that man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. Your vibrational frequency is determined by what you consistently see yourself receiving, being, and having in your consciousness. Wealth consciousness is not about thinking about money constantly or becoming obsessed with material possessions. True wealth consciousness is a state of being that naturally emanates abundance in all areas of life. It is the inner knowing that you are inherently valuable, that you deserve the best life has to offer, that resources flow to you easily and naturally because you are aligned with the source of all supply. When you examine your current vibrational frequency around money, you may discover patterns that shock you. Do you feel excited or anxious when you think about large amounts of money? Do you feel worthy or guilty when you imagine living abundantly? Do you feel expansive or contracted when you consider charging what you are truly worth for your services? These emotional responses reveal your current vibrational set point, and they predict with stunning accuracy what you will continue to attract financially. The transformation to wealth consciousness requires a complete renovation of your inner environment. You must become vigilant about the thoughts you think, the words you speak, the emotions you entertain, and the images you hold in your mind. Every moment, you are either raising or lowering your vibrational frequency. Every thought is either moving you toward abundance or away from it. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the imaging faculty is the creative faculty, and that what you image with faith and feeling must manifest in your experience. Most people unconsciously image lack, limitation, and struggle because these have been their predominant experiences. But when you consciously choose to image prosperity, success, and abundant flow, you begin to reprogram your vibrational frequency to match these higher realities. The practice of wealth consciousness involves cultivating feelings of abundance even before the external evidence appears. You must feel rich before you become rich. You must feel prosperous before prosperity manifests. You must feel grateful for abundance while still experiencing lack. This is not self-deception. This is spiritual training, preparing your consciousness to receive the good that is seeking to express through you. One of the most powerful techniques for raising your wealth vibration is to act from abundance in small ways every day. Tip generously when you can. Buy the better quality item when possible. Invest in yourself and your growth. Give gifts from a place of joy rather than obligation. These actions send a clear message to your subconscious mind that you are a person who has enough to give, enough to invest, enough to choose quality over mere survival. Your vibrational frequency is also affected by the company you keep and the information you consume. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain about money, who believe the economy is terrible, who think rich people are evil, their vibrations will influence your own. If you consume news and media that focus on financial doom and gloom, these messages seep into your consciousness and lower your wealth frequency. Instead, seek out the company of those who think abundantly, who believe in possibilities, who encourage your dreams and support your vision of prosperity. Fill your mind with stories of success, teachings of abundance, and examples of people who have transformed their financial lives through spiritual principles. Your vibrational environment is as important as your physical environment in determining your financial outcomes. The highest form of wealth consciousness is the understanding that you are not separate from the source of all abundance. You are not a beggar pleading with the universe for scraps. You are an expression of divine intelligence with full access to infinite resources. When this truth becomes your lived reality rather than mere intellectual knowledge, your entire relationship with money transforms, and abundance becomes your natural state of being. The universe operates on the principle of circulation, the endless flow of energy, substance, and life force through all creation. Your breath flows in and out, your blood circulates through your body, the seasons cycle from winter to spring to summer to fall, and money must circulate to maintain its life-giving power. Florence Scovel Shinn revealed that one of the greatest secrets to financial abundance lies in understanding and cooperating with the spiritual law of circulation. Yet most people unknowingly violate this law through fear, hoarding, and stagnation. When you examine the natural world, you discover that nothing healthy remains static. Rivers that stop flowing become stagnant ponds. Muscles that are not used atrophy and weaken. Gardens that are not tended become overgrown and unproductive. Similarly, money that is hoarded out of fear loses its power to create good in your life. The very act of clutching money too tightly creates an energy of contraction that repels further abundance from your experience. The fear-based mind believes that security comes from accumulation, from storing up treasure that cannot be touched or spent. But spiritual wisdom reveals that true security comes from knowing that you are connected to infinite supply, that money is not your source, but merely one form through which your good flows to you. When you trust in the inexhaustible nature of divine supply, you can release money into circulation with joy and confidence, knowing that what flows out will return multiplied. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that money is God in action, and that when you treat money as a sacred trust, a divine substance given to you to bless the world, it multiplies in your hands like the loaves and fishes in the biblical miracle. But when you treat money as scarce, as something to be feared and hoarded, it becomes stagnant and loses its creative power in your life. The art of conscious circulation involves giving and receiving with equal grace and enthusiasm. Most people are either natural givers who struggle to receive, or natural receivers who find it difficult to give. But spiritual prosperity requires mastery of both aspects of the circulation cycle. You must be willing to give freely when guided by wisdom, and you must be willing to receive graciously when abundance flows toward you. True spiritual giving is never about sacrifice or loss. It is about participating in the divine circulation of good. When you give from a consciousness of abundance, trusting that your supply is infinite, you create a powerful suction that draws even greater good into your experience. But when you give from guilt, obligation, or the fear that you should give even when you feel contracted about it, you violate the spiritual principle and create resistance in the flow. The key to powerful giving lies in feeling genuinely excited and expansive about your gift. If writing a check to support a worthy cause makes you feel abundant and blessed to be able to help, then this giving will create prosperity in your life. But if the same action makes you feel resentful, worried, or depleted, then it is not true spiritual giving, but rather emotional coercion that will diminish your abundance rather than increase it. Receiving is equally important and often more challenging for those who have been taught that it is better to give than to receive. But how can you give if you have not first received? How can you be a channel for abundance if you refuse to allow abundance to flow to you? The ability to receive graciously is actually an expression of humility and wisdom, acknowledging that you are part of the divine circulation rather than separate from it. Many people unconsciously block their receiving through false beliefs about unworthiness, through the fear that accepting good will create obligation, or through the misconception that spiritual people should not enjoy material abundance. But Florence Scovel Shinn understood that your willingness to receive abundance demonstrates your recognition of God's goodness and your acceptance of your divine inheritance. The practice of conscious circulation also involves paying your bills with gratitude and joy rather than resentment and worry. Every payment you make is an opportunity to bless those who have provided value in your life and to demonstrate your faith in continuous supply. When you pay your rent with gratitude for having a safe place to live, when you pay for groceries with appreciation for nourishing food, when you invest in your growth with excitement about expanding possibilities, you are participating in sacred circulation. The secret that transforms mere money management into spiritual circulation is the consciousness with which you handle every financial transaction. Are you coming from fear or faith? Are you operating from scarcity or abundance? Are you thinking thoughts that expand or contract your connection to infinite supply? Every monetary exchange is an opportunity to either strengthen or weaken your prosperity consciousness. As we reach the culmination of these hidden money laws, the most profound revelation emerges, one that has the power to transform not only your financial life, but your entire experience of being human. This final truth is so revolutionary, so contrary to everything you have been taught about money and spirituality, that it may initially shock your system before it liberates your soul. The ultimate secret is this: you are not a human being trying to become worthy of abundance. You are abundance itself, temporarily expressing through human form. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this magnificent truth when she declared that man is made in God's image and likeness, and therefore shares in God's infinite nature. You are not separate from the source of all wealth. You are an individualized expression of that source, carrying within your consciousness the same unlimited creative power that spoke worlds into existence. Your true identity is not poor, struggling, or lacking. Your true identity is infinite abundance, seeking expression through your unique personality and purpose. This revelation completely dismantles the traditional approach to manifesting money, which treats abundance as something outside yourself that must be attracted, earned, or deserved. When you realize that abundance is your very essence, you stop chasing prosperity and start expressing it. You stop trying to get money and start being the consciousness through which money flows naturally and effortlessly into form. The shift from seeking abundance to being abundance is the most radical transformation available to human consciousness. It moves you from the energy of desperation to the energy of demonstration, from the vibration of wanting to the vibration of having, from the consciousness of lack to the consciousness of overflow. When this shift occurs, money begins to appear in your life through channels you never expected, in amounts that surprise you, and with a consistency that defies all previous limitations. Your divine money identity recognizes no lack because God lacks nothing. It acknowledges no limitation because infinite intelligence knows no bounds. It accepts no struggle because the creative force of the universe operates through ease and natural flow. When you begin to identify with this truth rather than with your temporary circumstances, your entire relationship with money transforms from one of effort and anxiety to one of trust and receptivity. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every person is a golden link in the chain of my good, revealing that your prosperity is not separate from others' well-being, but intimately connected to the elevation of all consciousness. When you embrace your divine money identity, you realize that your abundance serves not just your personal needs, but the highest good of all creation. Your prosperity becomes a blessing to everyone whose life you touch, and this understanding removes all guilt about enjoying wealth and success. The practice of embodying your divine money identity requires releasing every false belief about who you are and what you deserve. You must let go of the story that you are not educated enough, not connected enough, not talented enough, or not worthy enough to experience unlimited prosperity. These are merely temporary illusions, shadows cast by a consciousness that has forgotten its divine nature. Your divine identity knows that wealth is your natural state because you are an expression of the God who owns everything. You do not need to earn your divine inheritance. You need only to claim it. You do not need to prove your worthiness. You need only to remember your true nature. You do not need to struggle for what is already yours by divine right. You need only to align your consciousness with spiritual truth. As you integrate these 9 hidden money laws into your daily consciousness, you will discover that they are not separate principles, but facets of one ultimate truth. You are divine abundance in individual expression. Every law points back to this fundamental reality, and every practice is designed to help you embody this truth more completely. The journey of financial transformation becomes not about acquiring something external, but about revealing something internal. The magnificent abundance that has always been your true nature. Money becomes not your goal, but your joyful expression, not your master, but your willing servant, not your source of security, but your instrument of love and blessing. Florence Scovel Shinn's greatest gift to humanity was not her techniques for manifestation, but her revelation of human divinity. When you truly understand that you are God's beloved child, created in the image and likeness of infinite abundance, programmed with unlimited potential and designed for extraordinary success, everything changes. Your consciousness expands, your possibilities multiply, and your life becomes a living demonstration of heaven on earth. The universe has never been withholding your good. You have simply forgotten who you are. These hidden money laws are invitations to remember, to awaken, to step into the fullness of your divine inheritance. As you claim your true identity as abundant consciousness in form, you become a beacon of possibility for all who witness your transformation. Your prosperity is not selfish, but selfless, not separate, but sacred, not material, but spiritual. This is the ultimate revelation. You are not trying to get abundant. You are abundance trying to express through you. Allow it, embrace it, become it. Your time of struggle is over. Your season of abundance has begun.